Hello and welcome to the Phase 3 Low Carbon Skills Fund recording focusing on heat decarbonisation plans. I am Raphael, a Client Support Officer at Salix Finance, and I'll be discussing the purpose, content and outputs of a heat decarbonisation plan. So, a heat decarbonisation plan outlines an organisation's current energy consumption and how it will decarbonise in the future. The Low Carbon Skills Fund funds the production of heat decarbonisation plans, which should be completed by the 31st of March 2023. The plan should focus on the technical solutions that you will need to decarbonise, the costs of this project, and the timeline by which this will occur. To implement your plan, you can apply for the Public Sector Decarbonisation Scheme. In terms of the content that we expect to see in the HDP, a strong plan will have the following 15 parameters outlined here, ranging from the executive summary to the key challenges section. I will be going through this in the following slides. The executive summary section should summarise the HDP, providing you with a clear understanding of your energy consumption and carbon emissions, as well as how you can decarbonise. The boxes you can see on this slide are checklists that are provided for each section of your HDP. You can find this information on the HDP guidance on the website. The introduction should be a summary of your current energy situation and set out the context. For instance, with respect to how the HDP will help the UK achieve net zero by 2050. The intro can also include what the organisation's estate looks like and summarise what is included within your plan. I have also added the introduction page from the Science Museum Group's HDP from Phase 2 LCSF, which is available to you via our website. A section of your HDP should be about buildings, providing background information on existing non-domestic buildings. The buildings should reflect the information that you would have provided in your supplementary building information tool. Energy consumption and carbon emissions. This section of the HDP should include focusing on the current energy consumption and carbon emissions of these technologies and when they need to be replaced. The quality of data and how the data was collected should also be considered. Here you can see a screenshot from Kingston Hospital Group, one of the example HDPs from Phase 2 LCSF, which, again, is available to you via our website. There should be a section of your plan about the energy consumption and condition of your site's heating and hot water systems. Areas to think about include the age of the systems and how they are controlled. Determining the whole solution. This section of your HDP should look at the solutions that will help to decarbonise. Areas to think about include how easy it will be to install certain technology, as well as who will install this technology. Solutions should be created by utilising a whole buildings approach. The previous energy savings and heating projects section of the HDP should focus on energy efficiency projects that have already been implemented and how this has helped you to transition to low carbon heat. Here you can see an example from Collingtree Church of England Primary School, another Phase 2 LCSF client, which you can access via our website. Heating networks and opportunities on site. This section should outline the methods that you want to implement in order to decarbonise, as well as whether there are local heating resources accessible that can help with the transition to low carbon. There should be a section of your HDP on the electricity loading capacity to support a switch to electric heating solutions. Adding additional electrical loading by switching your heat source could result in there being limited electrical capacity coming into your sites or wider area. It can be very expensive to increase the electrical supply to a site, so this should be looked into before any projects are commissioned. Other areas to add here include knowing what the current capacity of the buildings are, as well as the loading capacity of the network. Estimating cost. Your HDP should detail the estimated cost of the recommended solutions. This should be comprehensive and include any preliminary works or potential additional costs. A comprehensive costing of your whole solution will allow you to budget for and prioritise works as well as allow you to quickly put together a bid for future SALIC schemes or other funding that becomes available. Delivery plan. This section of the HDP should cover implementation of the proposed technologies or systems that have been introduced in the plan. You might want to consider how you're going to get the plan through internal sign-off and deliver it with your consultants or contractors. Resources. This section of the Heat Decarbonisation Plan aims to provide context on the existing resources available and outline the future resources required to develop and deliver the Heat Decarbonisation Plan. Here you should consider human and financial resources as well as any additional delivery support required for your recommended solutions. Supporting information. The supporting information section of the HDP should outline any other data you think should be included in your plan, such as display energy certificates and energy consumption data. This section can also look at areas such as planning restrictions on certain sites. Plans for the sites. This will include any plans you have in place for your sites. Areas to think about include whether there are any listed buildings or plans for demolitions. And finally, key challenges. The key challenges section should include the main issues that you could face when decarbonising, as well as the assistance that you will need to decarbonise, such as funding opportunities. HDP outputs. HDPs can include anything provided it is relevant. The main thing to think about here is what you need to achieve heat decarbonisation. That concludes this recording on HDPs. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found this useful.